You're just in time. Saved you a seat for The Pillars of Man, your number one podcast for the best conversations you could find aimed at male self improvement. And I believe I am always trying to think about what is it that gives you the most powerful arsenal to fully equip yourself in order to do self improvement and yield the best possible results for your specific current life situation. And this leads me back to one of the most powerful of all time, and it sounds so obvious too as I drop it right here, but this is the gift of the why. Yes, your why, your reason for doing everything that you're going to need to do. So there is no going around that. That is for sure. It's a whole lot of effort, and you have to try really hard every single day. Now, it's not that doing it for the sake of the attempt, just doing it to do it. I mean, hey, power to any man able to, you know, put his nose to the grindstone like this. Just what is this? What is this? Some bootstrap pulling? Something like that. And every single day, you're just able to get out there and kill it. You're just gonna show up because you're a guy that shows up. Okay, I don't know. Like that's definitely that's some kind of Clark Kent superpower right there. But in order to help you, to support you, because consistency is so key, and you really do need to show up as much as possible. That is going to be very difficult for you to do if you have no idea what you're waking up for. And it's so it can't be vague. And I know that most of the most commonly sought after male dreams and hopes and goals are actually incredibly general and vague. Okay, get married. Sure. All right. Yeah. Find a wife, secure the wife, do the whole kids thing. All right. There it is. A great job and make tons of money. Okay, really just making it rain out here. And then throw in some sports cars, some fancy watches, a really big mansion, okay, maybe a butler. And okay, there it is. All right, all set. That's everything I want self-improvement to do for me. Okay, it's not that any of those things are, you know, poor goals to have. They're actually not too shabby at all. But best of luck to any king that's going to do this, thinking about money and women. I mean, one woman, and that's it. Specificity here is so key because the more that you understand and the clearer that you can paint the vision and just the plan, okay, creating your own daily template to follow. This is more than a checklist. This is more than a to do list. This is adhering to a standard of principles because you understand, regardless of how hard or easy this day is going to be, I'm going to do it because this is how I'm choosing to live. And so many men capable of so much, brimming with potential, as I say, and yet they're living a life where they're kind of just wandering. I bounce from pleasure to pleasure, from shift to shift, making ends meet, and that's about it. And making ends meet is a blessing in and of itself. What if I told you, bro, you could have way more blessings than that. You can do much more than just survive. In order to help you try and get there to more than just survival, I will highly recommend you build the strongest, most solid why possible. This is your reason for self improving, for trying so hard, for doing all of these new actions and making all of these new choices that are most likely going to make you extremely uncomfortable. See, I mean, that's kind of the thing about self improvement is you can be way better. There is no doubt there. That is a you know this whole concept of betterment for any individual man is this this is a capability you were born with. You absolutely have the ability to do so. To doubt that is foolishness. That's the way that I look at it. There's no way I could ever be convinced that a man who is seeking better is not able, in some way, shape, or form, do better for himself. So this betterment is going to be it's going to be funneled into the very specific actions of your diet, the game plan, what you're actually going to do. These are blocked hours, okay, where you understand I have a few objectives I'm going to try to hit today. There are some topics that I need to begin researching, some things that I need to start studying and focusing on. And now, see, I'm already getting carried away with it because it really is so much. When you are able to create these kinds of this template that I'm speaking of, and you yourself, you make the actions, the choices, and the decisions, you must have them all revolve around your why. It all has to trace back to, okay, this is the great outcome that I'm looking for. Right off the bat, bro, I would say you need to care about this as much as possible. See, so it's a no brainer that most of the typical reward mechanisms that are so readily available, like, just the dopamine and the entertainment and the cheap pleasures and whatnot, they're not bad, so to speak. And what I mean by that is, oh, I'm going to really try today and do all sorts of difficult things and uncomfortable things, as I was saying. I mean, that could be the workout, and that could be coming up with the business plan. And I mean, literally building a business for yourself. This could be some sort of field employment major switch. You're trying to do something else because, I mean, clearly, whatever you are doing right now, is it paying the bills, bro? That's fantastic. If your heart isn't in it, though, yeah, I would say life is going to be pretty rough. And I know that there can be a very healthy separation between work and hobbies. That's, that's perfectly fine. But if you're one of those guys that is really trying to get the most out of life, this is the pursuit of your highest quality of life, then you must deem it possible that not only could you make a lot of money in this life, but you could do it. You could do it by working for or with something that you truly care about. This this is where it gets so much more specific according to the individual. Now, and of course, tonight this is all about you. So that requires a little bit of digging. You need to be asking some questions about yourself as to, well, what is it about that I find interesting in this world, that I am so curious about? It has to invoke a, I mean, this is the best formula, so to speak, but if it invokes a combination of passion and curiosity out of you and a kind of sense of longing and yearning because you are very interested to see where this could lead, these are all wonderful indicators that you should spend some time with this given subject or topic or skill or craft, whatever it may be. It will almost always, okay, so just about, it will always have something to do with value. It needs to matter to other people, to the rest of this world. You have to be providing a service of some kind. And I know this is kind of the basics. If, correct me if I'm wrong, by all means, in the comments down below. But this may be the basics of the entrepreneurial spirit. I am here to try and help people in some way. And I think it is pretty cool to think about the world like this, because then you're kind of looking for, it'd be nice if people had this. And then it's like, whoa, wait a minute, they don't. And then well, all right, here you are. And, you were born, and, after you joined this universe, you were led all the way to this conversation tonight. This puts you in a position to change everything. It's absolutely no joke. I am not exaggerating, nor am I dramatizing the potential benefits of self-improvement. I mean, making yourself is a superpower in and of itself, but like when you can't, though, and it starts to get immensely, tremendously heavy, and you wake up and your eyes, they open very reluctantly. Okay, you're basically doing some curls right here already without even, all right, stepping into the gym yet. And your day is only just beginning, and you already you already do not want to have anything to do with it. This is a major problem. Your why is supposed to be able to, once again, support you in this way and really try and help you get through the difficulty of, I know what I need to do, and I really don't want to. I don't want to deal with any of this. This is so difficult, and it's so much, and it's tedious and annoying and all that other stuff that so challenges a man. By going this way, by intentionally choosing a pathway of such furious friction. I mean, it's a lot of stress because you're looking for these problems that you're confronting, your life's greatest work, so to speak. That absolutely can be you. I mean, who is to say what your cap is? Brother, do you even have a limit? I'm not so sure. If your mindset, you allow that to run wild into these life pathways of growth and progress, transformation and evolution, when would you stop? It is going to be very difficult to say, immeasurable in this way. Okay, this is like kind of turning into a shonen anime. It's not that you and I have these wells of infinity and just, power levels over 9,000 and it's still climbing, but it is absolutely something for you to experience, bro. Like, you need to go out and see this for yourself. I guarantee, if you've never self-improved before, or you've never, like, you're kind of considering it, thinking about this stuff, that's awesome, but you don't even really necessarily have a process right now. When you really actually get into it, you find out just how much you were not overestimation. Well, hold on, give me a second. Overestimation occurs when you experience this can be burnout. This can also just be overwhelm, just wow, I am so confused, and this is a lot, and I'm kind of drowning in everything right now. And then you can like kind of reposition and reiterate, okay, break it down into smaller, sizable pieces instead of trying to eat it all at once. If self-improvement is a meal, okay. But I think most guys are completely underestimating themselves. It's so crazy. I mean, this is such it is a complete transformation of the man, but wow, the mental overhaul and the spiritual epiphany. We're just gonna run with that for now. The way that this occurs for you is the enlightenment. The enlightenment sets in when you see that maybe these things you've been putting off for so long, that you've always had such a hard time with, and you never give yourself this chance. You start stop, or you almost start but just don't end. Whatever, it doesn't matter. The To dive into it and to have this full wholehearted embrace of your own life's responsibilities, when you couple that with I'm doing all of this for, and you have your reason, and you made sure that your reason is strong enough. Really, you gotta dig, brother. It will not simply land on your lap to just like kind of fall out the sky, and you'll have it. And there it is. It's all set, and it's all been figured out for you. No, bro, you're definitely gonna have to take some time and think about, good Lord, what is it that I really do care about? A lot of men will very quickly arrive to the conclusion, and it will fill them with despair. I don't want that to happen to you, because you might arrive at a point where you believe, crap, I don't care about anything. That's not true. I actually don't believe that. I know that doesn't, there's not a lot of merit there just because I dropped that statement. But I mean it, and I say it because existence is too big, bro. Would you be willing to meet me on this point? Possibility in life, it's too enormous. There is just way too much stuff that can happen in all of the potential time you have. What's so from I find this crazy. I do. I personally think this is pretty bonkers. It doesn't matter. Hey, don't freak out. Don't freak out. I promise. Okay. Just run with me for a second. It doesn't matter if it's 10 years. And I know 10 years is like, what the heck? Can I get more than 10 years? That's a really short amount of time. I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news. It's just we keep it real here at the Pillars of Man, and it absolutely could be 10. Okay, just it's cool, bro. I will be hoping and praying in the meantime. It's way more than 10 for you. Okay, all right. So I'll be doing my part, or it could be 100. Another century. Okay, now that might make you sad. Because if you're not enjoying life and you think about it like that, like, oh my God, another 100 years of this. Ain't no way. I'm not doing it. Like, yeah, I'm good. I'm all set with this self-improvement stuff. Okay, hold on though. Regardless of how much time you really do have, for how long you're going to live, my king, you will be experiencing that one day at a time. All right, interesting coincidence. I'm just saying, it's almost as if it was designed to be this way for you and I to live one day at a time. That'd be quite overwhelming. Can you imagine? Right, just going right through a century, there's like a whole lot. How would you even keep up with this and that, and all this stuff and people, and it's oh God, all the bills and whatnot, and all these experiences to be had. Okay, But no, bro. One day at a time. So can you imagine it like that? That'd be pretty sweet, would it not? You just wake up for the day, just that day, and you want to live it. See, this is curating a lifestyle that is most it makes the most sense for you to live in this way because you're a man that knows what he wants. If that is success and good health and good wealth and a wonderful relationship and whatnot and great romance and all the funky business that comes with that, yeah, brother, who is to say you cannot have it? In almost all cases, that's just about every single one. It's the man himself. It would be you to deny the best life you could possibly have. It's hard for me to specify. I would love to say, yeah, your best life is going to have, your life partner with kids, big house, plenty of money to retire with. It's going to be great times, a rolling family vacations and all that, lots of memories to make and arguments to make up with the wifey and all that and all this human experience. Okay. But no man could predict. I mean, really, that's kind of a job reserved for really only God to be able to see exactly how it goes down in the future. No, I think it'd be way more exciting. I think it'd be so much more fun and enjoyable for you to actually experience it, for you to live it out yourself, brother. Living it out is to ensure you don't forget. That's how you keep it going. Every single day, you are reminded somehow, some way, of why you want to do what you do. You see, this is this importance, this very, very grave importance of your reason to do everything that you want out of life. That's what this is all for. Whatever those goals are, get as specific as you can. The more intricate the detail, the better. But they can be you can condense them into more overarching goals. For a lot of guys, and I'll talk about, I will kind of use more general examples, just giving off the data that is popping up all over the place, in mainstream news and the internet and just YouTube, just like news articles on Google and whatnot. And there is a lot of, there's a lot of male loneliness. They're calling it a freaking epidemic. There's a lot of addictive, vice and behaviors and dependencies. There's a lot of depression. And there's a lot of hopelessness. That's actually a really big one. And it's a lot of younger guys too. And how sad is that? Because if there is ever a time to really live life to the fullest, it absolutely is when you have your youth. I mean, to live life to the fullest can be done at any age. Don't get me wrong. It's just, I don't think it could be argued. You really would have the most energy, and you would be right. You are in the optimal state of mind as you are younger. Then the world is kind of just, there's so much more of it, not that you haven't been to yet. A lot of life yet unlived, and so much more to kind of seek for experience and whatnot. And yet, so many of these guys, and I'm talking about guys a lot closer to my age. I mean, this would be for sure all my millennial kings, all my Zoomer kings, and all my the younger ones. But I believe they're adults. They're adults now as well. The Alpha Kings, and we are just struggling in this way. It's like, oh, for what? Do what? For who? And why? See, there it is again. I mean, this sense of purposelessness. Because a man does not take the time to find out for himself why. What is it that makes you tick? What's going on? What sparks a an interest that's actually able to hold your attention for a significant amount of time? This is something that you want to find out more. You would want to be an expert in whatever it is. And through your powers of research, creativity, practice, repetition, and whatnot, you would live a life that all you're doing is you're seeking to create value with this. I mean, this is really getting back into, I mean, yes, kind of the basics of education. I know how that sounds, but this is not random classes to just try to get credits to pass. Make sure you graduate or like whatever. No, bro. The beauty of the internet, one of the most magnificent parts of this modern era that you and I are alive for, is you can, again, the specificity, you specifically choose what interests you to learn and consume and absorb. Try and study and research and then iterate with your own bare hands. Like, I'm going to try and make. I will try myself to create. This is not a burden. I think that is a lie that was kind of conspiratorially or systematically. Take your pick. I mean, there's way more than that, than these two as well. But it's just some kind of source that gave us the conditioning all our lives. Oh, this is all work, and work is unattractive, and work sucks, and work is boring, and you don't want to have anything to do with it. You don't want to have anything to do with work that has nothing to do with your why, with your purpose, bro. See, that's why it's so important for you to find. It's not this. I want to be very specific here. I believe this goes beyond what I've heard in the self-improvement space of make work play. You make it fun. Okay. If you can treat whatever you have to do for work as something you get to play with, you're going to have a great time. Okay. I mean, yes, it's logically sound. That is a great way to go about it. I mean, I just simply see if there were anything superior to work as play, it would have to be work as purpose. I mean, you'd have to assume that this source of play is infinite. If it's finite, then it won't be playful and fun forever. Is that a potential danger? Possibly. I'm not sure. I'm literally just like kind of pondering this with you tonight. But if your mind could acclimate to the specific whatever kind of pleasure or fun you are deriving out of this activity, and eventually it just becomes normal, same old, then what? That's a big oh no. Then all of a sudden, would the process come to a screeching halt? As a man, he realizes it used to be fun. Now I'm just waking up to, oh crap, it's work all over again. I mean, it's subjective, because I mean that's going to depend on how the gauge, if you will, of how much a man actually enjoys the job, activity, whatever is being done. Fair enough. But for it to be purpose, for it to be, this is who I am. This is identity. I'm trying to speak to a deeper core of who you are as both a man and a human being. You wake up and life is not at all what you want it to be. On the other side of that is a whole lot of self-improvement and effort and actions. It's a whole lot of responsibility. Your acceptance and understanding that to take on all of that is going to lead you to undoubtedly your finest, your best experiences. To frame it in this way, it turns the work and all the concentration, the focus, and all that, and the discomfort, it turns it into a necessity. Because it kind of it just doesn't really make sense to live life in any other way that is not who you are. That now, and this is very possible, but it needs to be built. You can do that. You can, yes, of course you can do that. Um, for this to actually turn into a 7-day process, that takes time. I highly recommend you just start with a day off. A day off is a really, I mean, that's tough too, because I don't know what you do for a living. You might not have days off. That is, I mean, respect, bro, because that is a very extreme scenario to be in. And I believe many men are. Survival comes first. Can't really self improve if you are not alive. So when you do have time, if it's not a day off, that has to that has to the following dilemma to solve is, how much am I really working with here? Is it just an hour or two every night? And see that, like, let me I'm gonna pause right here, because that sounds insane for a lot of guys working 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 hours a week and a couple hours to themselves. Of course they're going to be so tired they want to just kick back and chill and whatnot. That's, I mean, you need that. I mean, rest and relaxation, R&R as I call it, is a part of the process as well. Now what makes it so tricky is, are you sure? I would ask men, even living in such an extreme situation of working to survive like this, I would ask these men, brother, is this how you want to die though? If the answer is no, the why is born. I don't want to go out like this. I won't let myself go out like this. I cannot go out like this. So what that really means is, slowly, little by little, with whatever free time a man can muster, and you add that up, and you get very intentional here, and you fill these spaces of free time, however small they are, with very, very certain actions and decisions that get you closer to living a life you would much rather enjoy. I mean, for me to just kind of go off the top of my head right now, for a situation like that, money is definitely the big problem here, because 2 to 3 jobs in order to survive. The biggest, the next big problem to solve in a situation like this, for a man to truly experience the very best quality of his life possible, that would be, okay, can I make the total sum of income I have right now that these 2 to 3 jobs is giving me, can I make that much with one? Or maybe that's too big of a leap. Maybe if it's 3 jobs, how about from 3 to 2? Okay, or if it's two, then 2 to 1. And you look at all those options. Whichever option resonates with him the most. Hey, look, if it's all about money, then it's all about money. It used to be all about money for me too, personally. I would say maybe a couple years ago. And I quickly realized, yeah, if you can get it, if you can really make the big bucks fast enough that it's worth it. If not, if it seems like it's going to be some time before you really end up yielding some sort of net profit, then that process right there is going to be everything, because it has to be something that you can stick with. And so that's when I realized, oh, wow, my goodness. So maybe it's actually really not about the money. I mean, this is something you have to figure out for yourself. I think for me, when I did this, the realization was I just want to. And that has nothing to do with the money. Where does my desire come from? I need the fuel. I did, like, to me in my head, that this is so much more of a priority than just sheer good old USD, and just the value of the currency of money. It's like I'm just trying to get at more of the currency of life. You wake up and you are you gave it a ton of thought, and you put together for yourself a life that allows you to get into subjects, to get into topics, to get into skills or crafts or whatnot that mean enough to you that if it works, the money's going to take care of itself. So now the value that it's giving you is not in some faraway distant outcome. Okay, if I do this for this many years, maybe I make the big bucks. What if it could be that I do this every single day and I'm headed this way in life because I just want to live like this? It's the same. It's the same. Okay? So your why, almost maybe the true gift or power of the why is you do not wait for your best life. No, you start living it right now. Because you're headed there. That's why this is your best life. You're already headed there. How can I say that? Because you're doing it. Because the actions are happening. Like, really buckling down. This is it comes down to this. See, that's why I say acceptance, because a lot of guys, they, right, you get nervous, you get it gets really iffy right here. It's like okay, yeah, all right, cool, bro. Let me get back to you on that. Do you know what I mean? I mean, this was me for most of my life. It still kind of is, but work in progress. And I'm the self awareness is, I'm trying to do better, right? That's what it's all about, betterment. But and then a couple of days go by or something like that, and nothing happens, and you go back to however you have been living, and you return to the same kind of whatever, the same kind of negativity, however that is manifesting for you. It could be so much. It could be all of them. For me, it was a lot of addiction, and it was a lot of depression, and it was a lot of anxiety, and it was a ton of despair. I saw no light anywhere. I was like, they really, I was kind of living on the edge. And what I mean by that is, if I go tomorrow, or not even, if I go right now, okay, that's awful. Because I had nothing to live for. There was no why. There was no, I really want to try to get there. I want to try to see what this is like, what this kind of life is like. Could I really get that good? Could it really be that satisfying and that fulfilling and that enjoyable for me? Even alone? Even with where I live now, even with how poor I am right now in this situation? The answer is absolutely 100% yes. It is revolutionary in this way, because everything changes for you. You wake up with this newfound vigor, because you have your reason. I don't want it to be like this anymore. I want to be joyful again. I want to know what it's like to experience the peace of doing hard work in life. I actually want to try and build these habits and build the discipline to be able to do what is tough, because you were built for tough. See, these challenges, they will unlock parts of you. But you can't stop though, right? So like, how does it kind of keep going? How do you continue to unlock these, these masculine depths of your own manhood? I would say never forgetting and always holding on to why you do it. I'm going to end on this now. And these are more of the traditional anchors, so to speak, for a man. But if it can't be for you, and I'm not saying that you have this situation, I'm just saying I want to, this is just an example. I'm going to say it because I'm trying to show you the power it really has. And so for some men, it actually has nothing to do with them. It can be you, or but it doesn't have to be. Nonetheless, depending on who you are in your life situation, it can still be an incredibly strong why. That is love. What it is a man is defending his wife, ensuring the woman he loves is safe and sound, supported and provided for and protected. That is incredible motivation. That would ignite in a ferocious why. Okay, and then there's kids. That's a huge one. That's a massive one right there. Just to come home to the little ones running around and screaming with excitement and glee. They all, however many of them there are, they all scream, daddy's home, and then kind of run over and tackle you. Again, incredible motivation and fuel to do what is difficult in life. That's the kind of stuff men will. I want to think of a better way to put this. That's when men will give it everything. That's when men will fully invest. Now, that, of course, that begs the question. Well, I'm single though, right? I'm on the younger side. I have not gotten married. I do not have any children. I mean, then that simply needs to be converted into, well, do you want a wife? Do you want kids? Do you want a better life? Do you want, to bring the dream you imagine in here and transition it into reality with sheer will and force by your bare hands, your mind, and your body? That is the challenge, but that's also the beauty of self-improvement, because that can absolutely be the why. Yes, bro. Yes, let it light up your life. I can. It can be better. I can meet a wonderful person for me in life. Okay? For all the doubters, for all the pessimists, for all the cynists, that could be watching this. That still takes effort. That's the way I like to look at this. Basically, I'll try to make this a little bit easier, but the age-old metaphor or analogy of the glass of water. So, and it's half filled, but to look at it as a glass half empty takes the same amount of effort to look at it as a glass half full. Now, even if you choose to look at it as glass half empty, that does not negate the existence of the conceptual frame. The glass is actually half full. Okay, what does that mean? You cannot believe, you can think there's no, everything I said tonight, okay, like maybe, hopefully not you, bro, but some hater back there, okay, sitting in the back listening, is like, Hakumo's full of crap. This is so stupid. Oh, hope and believe. Ooh, yeah, okay, cool story, bro. It's not happening. What are the chances of that? Okay, like the negativity, the disbelief, the basically an excuse to not have to try in life. That is It takes just as much effort, and it is equally true to look at life like that. And it's, hey, okay, maybe it is pointless. Maybe it won't work ever. But there's an equal force on the other side of this coin, and that is that it can work, and that is that it will work, and that is that you can do it, bro. So then what's really going on here? Like, what did okay? The water is all over the place. Okay, like how much does this glass really have? That's on you, brother. That's your choice. My deep dive tonight is to remind you, really, in order to push you towards, yes, of course it can. Have your why. Have a really strong why, as strong as you can make it, and then use it. Rest on it. Put your life on it. And stay on the side of the optimism and the positivity. Okay, because the negativity, it won't do anything but harm us. It's not. Nothing comes of it. Nothing comes of it but decay and desolation and self-destruction. The other end of this is rebirth. It's transformation and it's evolution, all of which you are capable of. You just have to make that choice for yourself. If you're having a difficult time, brother, you need to create your reason first. Create the strongest, the best why possible, and you take it from there. And if you need help, feel free to come right back here. That's what I do. I talk about anything and everything that goes into male self-improvement, because you're watching the Pillars of Man, your number one podcast for the best conversations you could find aimed at male self-improvement surrounding philosophy, masculinity, wellness, and lifestyle. I'm your host, Kumo. I continue to reshape the modern male reality, giving any man who wishes to pull the very best out of himself a way to do that. Bro, if you like stuff like this, hit that subscribe button for me. You can give me a like, and I hope to see you for my very next episode. But until then, take it easy, take good care of yourself, and I love you so much. Peace.